Alright, so I paused it and then I accidentally shut it down. So this is going to be 2 links, and I realized where I finally made my mistake. MOP, MNO, same thing. Well, I forgot the bottom one. RST. Okay, good. Hopefully you caught it before me, and one of you would have raised your hand, I'm sure. Okay. Sorry, doing this at home is not as easy, but you guys should be used to glitches happening. Alright, all segments parallel to NU. So let's find NU. Parallel meaning pretty much going in the same direction, okay? I guess we could add into skew up here. Skew. Different plane and different okay. Alright, so it's going in a different plane in a different direction. Oh, I'm sorry, that was skew. Man, I am all over the place at home. So sorry, guys. All segments parallel to NU. So parallel, we want same direction. That's where it was. Okay. So MR segment, right? It said name all segments. So we've got MR, OT, and PS. And of course, my purple pen is dying. OT, segment, PS. Okay, good. Segments that intersect MP. Segments that intersect M. So intersecting MP would be M and a P in it. That's easy to start. So MR, MN, MS. Now, could there exist an MU? Oh, sure, but if they're not drawn, you don't have to do that. The only one you have to kind of assume, I was talking about up here with that like diagonal, that BC would be TEH still. Okay. MP, that intersect MP. I said MR, MN, MS. I think that's good for M's. And we've got PS, segment PS, segment PO. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is pause the video and hopefully not again. Why don't you guys give these 4 a try, and hopefully when I unpause, the answers will be there. Alright, so hopefully you see now, and can check your answers. You paused it long enough. And so hopefully you can kind of follow the colors. The red was, I wasn't going to color in all the planes, but that's why those match. We've got parallel things to QX, and then since I did that same color already, I did the next one and kind of highlighting it for parallel to segment QR. And then the lines, because MEH is kind of this top plane, you might think these kind of slanted ones, but remember, this plane isn't finite. It doesn't say anything about these being finite. So you have to assume that they're extended. If they're not parallel, they're going to intersect, right? So the only thing parallel to MEH was this bottom plane. So that's why you have 2, 3, 4, and then the front and the back, 5, 6. Okay? Then the AG is in the kind of the front and the bottom. So anything from any of the other planes, but going in a different direction. And that's why there are 8 of them. Okay, let's flip to the other side. Normally I'd be seeing if there were any questions, so hopefully if you have some, you're writing them down so that you can ask office hours. You can always come stop by after school. I'll make sure I keep it open. Can't really think about what we end with tomorrow. I think we start with 6, so we end with 3. So I have a class 3. It should be open still. I'll just leave it open if you want to hop on after school if you have any questions. Okay. All right. So angle relationships. A line that intersects 2 or more lines at 2 different points in a plane is called a transversal. So a line that intersects 2 or more other lines, different points, transversal. Okay, so T here is intersecting line M and N, 2 or more other lines, at this point here and this point here. 2 different points. Okay, so T is the transversal. Named, right, for this example. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of different kinds of angles that we need to make sure we know their relationship. So we're going to see a couple things. We're going to first identify the pairs, and then in section 2, we're going to find out characteristics about those pairs. So it's really important to be able to recognize them. They can exist with or without parallel lines. Okay. Obviously right now M and N don't look parallel. Hopefully you're seeing that if I extended them out they would intersect somewhere over here. So all of these pairs, interior angles, alternate interior, consecutive interior, exterior, alternate exterior, and corresponding can all happen whether you have parallel lines or not. So it's pretty much all about the position of the intersection, transversal and the given line. Okay, so interior is referring to again, it says 3, 4, 5, and 6. So interior is referring to the 2 lines. Okay. Alternate interior referring to, again, interior is the 2 lines. Alternate is for transversal. So I'm going to try to highlight like interior, 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 exterior, exterior. Those are all referring to the 2 lines. Are you interior between them or exterior outside of them? Okay. Interior. Exterior. Okay. Try to straighten this out a little bit. Okay, so now alternate or consecutive is referring to the transversal. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that. Again, okay, purple, that's not working. So alternate or consecutive. So alternate is opposite sides. Alternate equals opposite. Or alternate, or maybe equals other side, opposite side, right? Alternate, an additional choice. So interior but alternate, interior but consecutive. Okay, and again, you can look at all these examples as we're going through. And then the last one, which is my personal favorite, is corresponding. Okay, corresponding means it's in the same position of the intersection. Okay, so again, look at all these. There's 4 separate pairings. Make sure you read only 2 at a time that you're doing corresponding. Okay, so again, what do I mean by same position? So when you see this intersection, right, 4 angles are created. There's an upper right, an upper left, a lower right. Well, down here, there's an upper right, an upper left, a lower left, and a lower right. Notice the pairings. 1 with 5. 1 is up, 5 is upper left. So that's the idea about corresponding. Okay, corresponding, the same position. So here are some examples you can kind of read through. I'm just going to give you a hint on a few of these things on what you got to be careful when there's 4 lines going on, because again, we're only ever looking at 2 and a transversal. So each of these, you kind of have to take one out. So 10 and 16, the two lines would be N and L, and the transversal would be Q. So you would ignore line P. Okay? 4 and 12 would be the two lines, and N would be the transversal, so ignore line L. Okay? Hopefully you're getting the drift. Alright, the idea is the side that they share, they have in common, that's going to be your transversal. Okay? Might even want to write that down. Shared side equals transversal. Let's see what I mean about 12 and 13. So 12 and 13, the side they share, right? 12 is made up of N and Q. 13 is made up of L and Q. So obviously they share Q, that's the transversal. That can kind of help you sort through what's what, okay? So let's get down and talk about that. Identify the transversal connecting the pair of angles. So 9 and 13. 9 and 13 share, and again, you can say them both, and whichever one you say twice, it's going to be, right? So that's Q. 5 and 14, so 5 is L and P, 14 is L and Q. Okay, line L. Go ahead. What do you think about number 3? Pausing for dramatic effect. And P. Fantastic. Okay. Classify the relationship between each pair of angles as alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, or consecutive interior. So I am going to try to do one of each, and then I will pause, let you guys finish them, and then I'll reveal the answers. Okay, so let's first find alternate interior. Okay, so alternate interior we'll label as red. Oops. Let me change that up. I got a different on my other one. So alternate interior we'll do green, and Alt-int is fine for abbreviating, because again, we're going to eventually be using these in proofs, so abbreviate away, okay? Alternate exterior, so Alt-Ext, we'll do in blue. Corresponding is the one, so C-O-R-R is fine for corresponding. That's what we'll do in red, and then we'll do consecutive interior. Int. Okay, we'll do an orange. Ah! My screensaver went on. I hope that didn't go black for you guys. 2. Okay. So 1 and 5. So we'll look at 1 and 5. Looks to me that 1 and 5 have the transversal of P. They're on the same side, so that you might be thinking consecutive, because that's what same side means. In other books, consecutive was often called same side. So I would actually even write that up here. Same side. Sorry, I just wrote that up. Next to consecutive, okay? Same side of the transversal is what consecutive means. So anyway, 1 and 5, same side, but 1 is definitely exterior because if P is the transversal, N and L are the two lines. 5 is in between them, so it can't be consecutive interior because 1's not interior. But they are in the upper left, so these would be corresponding. Okay, we're gonna look at number 6 next. So 2 and 8, angle 2, angle 8. Again, they're sharing P the transversal, so I'm looking between N and L. Looks like 2 is exterior. So do we have anything about exterior? Really, we only have alternate exterior. There's no consecutive exteriors. Again, consecutive means like next to each other. And we just don't have anything. Okay, so alternate exterior, alternate referring to the transversal. Yes, they're on opposite sides. So alt next. Okay, let's look at number 12 and 3. Again, spoiler alert, unless you're colorblind. On angle 12, which, gosh, I hope nobody is. I hope that wasn't offensive. And these colors are actually helpful. 12 and 3. So 12 and 3 share side N. So that's their transversal. So they're on the same side or consecutive. And we don't have, remember, we don't have consecutive exterior. We only have consecutive interior. So are they interior to P and Q? Sure thing. Consecutive. Sometimes I write the whole consecutive. Int. And lastly, hopefully there's an alternate interior one on here. Let's look at 4 and 6. 4 and 6. So they both share P, so P is the transversal, so they're alternate sides. N and L are the 2 lines, so they're interior, so it's alt int. Okay, so that leaves what for you guys? 5, 7, 10, 11, and 12. On your mark, get set, go! Pause the video. Hopefully you did all right, and that's all, folks. So the assignment, I'll get up onto Google Classroom, hopefully by the time you see this. 44 and 45, maybe we're not doing those. Stay tuned. I'll check that, write that down. And this is the real page number, so, okay. See you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, study for your test still, and you'll be taking it in class, or Stephen, you'll be at home. Make sure you let me know if somebody isn't going to be in. Obviously, we don't encourage that unless it's, medically necessary. Okay. Thank you.